Kevin Porter straightened his tie and took a deep breath. The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber loomed before him, carved from stones gathered from 1,000 worlds. Beyond those doors waited representatives of over 200 alien species, all curious about the newest members of their interstellar community, humans. "Ready, Ambassador?" asked Melissa Gray, keeping her voice low. As Chief Science Officer, she had spent years studying alien biology and psychology. Her eyes, sharp and observant, missed nothing. "As ready as I'll ever be," Kevin replied with an easy smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "First impressions matter, Melissa." The doors swung open silently, revealing a vast chamber with rising tiers of seats. Aliens of all shapes, sizes, and colors filled the room. Some floated in special tanks, others required environmental suits, and many looked almost human-like, apart from strange skin colors or extra limbs. Kevin walked forward with measured steps, not too fast to appear aggressive, not too slow to seem fearful. The walk of a confident diplomat, not a predator. The Supreme Counselor, a tall being with blue-tinted skin and 4 arms, gestured for Kevin to approach the central speaking platform. "Ambassador Porter of Earth, you may address the Council." Kevin stepped onto the platform, which rose slightly to give everyone a better view of the human representative. His heart beat steadily. His breathing remained controlled. Behind his diplomatic smile, his mind cataloged exit routes, potential threats and tactical advantages, habits from his years in Earth's special forces before becoming a diplomat. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," Kevin began, his voice projecting clearly across the chamber. "Earth is honored to join this distinguished assembly of civilizations. We come in peace, seeking friendship and mutual growth through cooperation." Melissa watched from her position near the chamber entrance, noting how different species reacted. The bug-like Krith clicked their mandibles in what their cultural briefing suggested was approval. The serpentine Slisk flicked their tongues, tasting the air for chemical signs of deception. The jellyfish-like Meadow pulsed with colors that suggested curiosity. Kevin continued his speech, hitting all the key diplomatic points while revealing very little about Earth's true capabilities. "Humans are explorers and learners by nature. We seek to understand the universe and find our place within it." What he didn't mention was that humans were also hunters by nature. That Earth was classified as a death world by galactic standards, with higher gravity, extreme weather patterns, and an ecosystem built on predator-prey relationships that had shaped human evolution. In orbit above the Council planet, Admiral John Blackwood stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel HSS Artemis. Earth's first official interstellar ship appeared modest in size compared to the massive alien vessels nearby. This was intentional. The Artemis contained technology that humans had developed in secret, studying crashed alien ships over decades before making official first contact. "Status report," Blackwood ordered, his weathered face reflected in the view screen showing the alien armada. Captain Olivia Winters responded promptly. "All systems nominal, Admiral. Our shields are at full capacity but inactive to avoid appearing. Hostile. Weapon systems are powered down but can be brought online in 6 seconds. And our observers? In position throughout the alien fleet. Our stealth drones are transmitting data on their ship designs and defensive capabilities." Blackwood nodded, satisfied. Diplomacy was the preferred approach, but Earth's military had learned long ago to prepare for all possibilities. Humans hadn't survived as apex predators by being careless. Back in the council chamber, Kevin finished his address to polite alien equivalents of applause. Various council members approached to introduce themselves, asking questions about Earth and human culture. Reptilian delegate named Zarvoth leaned close to Kevin. "Your species appears quite gentle for creatures from such a harsh world. The preliminary report suggested humans might be more aggressive." Kevin smiled warmly. "We've learned that cooperation often achieves more than conflict. Our history taught us the value of peace." He didn't mention the thousands of wars that had shaped human history, the countless battles that had honed human tactical thinking to a razor's edge, the fact that humans were one of the few species that had developed nuclear weapons and survived their own destructive tendencies. Melissa joined a group of alien scientists, answering their questions about human biology with careful edits. Yes, humans require oxygen, but we can survive with reduced levels for short periods. She didn't explain that human endurance far exceeded most galactic species, that humans could keep running long after other predators would collapse from exhaustion, that human wounds healed faster, human bones were denser, and human reflexes were quicker than the Council scientists estimated. On Earth, Director Samantha Rodriguez watched the proceedings via secure transmission in the United Nations Space Command Headquarters. Around her, military and political leaders observed humanity's first official step onto the galactic stage. They suspect nothing, noted General Frank Wilson, his scarred hands folded on the conference table. They see what they expect to see, Samantha replied. A young species eager to join the galactic community. And when they discover what we really are? Samantha's expression remained neutral. By then we'll be too integrated into their power, structures to be easily removed. Humanity needs allies, General. But we also need time to assess potential threats. Back on the Council planet, Kevin engaged in the complex dance of interspecies politics. He expertly navigated conversation traps, avoided cultural misunderstandings, and presented humans as peaceful explorers. All the while, his enhanced implants recorded everything he saw and heard for analysis back on Earth. As the reception ended, Kevin and Melissa returned to their temporary quarters. Once alone and secure from surveillance, Melissa activated a jamming device. Initial assessment? Kevin asked, loosening his tie. They underestimate us, Melissa said bluntly. Most Council species evolved as herd animals. Their instinct is flight, not fight. They can't comprehend our predatory psychology. Kevin nodded slowly. That gives us an advantage, but it could also make them fear us if they realize the truth. Too soon. The Artemis reports that 3 different species attempted to scan our ship for weapons. Expected. Did they find anything? Nothing our countermeasures couldn't hide, Melissa confirmed. As far as they know, we're exactly what we claim to be. Peaceful diplomats with minimal defensive capabilities. Kevin looked out the window at the alien cityscape, lights glowing against the purple twilight of this strange world. Humans are diplomats, he said quietly, but we're also survivors. The galaxy doesn't need to know yet that on Earth, diplomats are the front line of defense, not the last resort. How long can we maintain this facade? Melissa asked. Kevin's expression hardened briefly, showing the predator behind the diplomat's mask. As long as necessary. Earth needs this alliance. We'll be peaceful partners unless given reason to be otherwise. The 2 humans stood silently, watching alien ships cross the night sky, already planning humanity's careful integration into a galaxy that had no idea what they had just welcomed into their midst. 6 months passed since humanity joined the Galactic Council. Ambassador Kevin Porter sat in his office in the newly established Earth Embassy, reviewing reports from human diplomats now stationed across the galaxy. On his desk sat a small trophy, given to him by the Council, recognition for resolving a centuries-old conflict between the Draxians and Voroth in just 2 weeks of talks. The door slid open, and Melissa Gray entered, her face serious despite the good news she carried. The cultural exchange program is proceeding better than expected, she said, placing a tablet on Kevin's desk. 50 alien scholars have accepted invitations to Earth, and we have 100 human researchers ready for deployment to various Council worlds. Kevin nodded, scrolling through the list of names. Each human in the program had been carefully selected. Scientists, yes, but also military intelligence officers with civilian covers. Each carried neural implants designed by engineer Eric Martinez that recorded everything they saw and transmitted encrypted data back to Earth. The Draxian-Voroth peace treaty has raised our status considerably, Melissa added. Several minor species have requested human mediators for their own disputes. Kevin smiled slightly. They think we succeeded through compromise and understanding. Rather than strategic division and influence, Melissa finished. Classic Earth military doctrine applied to diplomacy. Divide potential threats, build separate alliances, and position yourself as the essential third party. Kevin's secure communication device chimed. Admiral Blackwood's face appeared on the screen, his expression grim. "We have a situation, Ambassador. Krell pirates have attacked our mining operation in the Cerberus sector. 3 dead, 2 shuttles destroyed." Kevin straightened. "The Artemis?" "Already responding. We expect to engage the pirates within 2 hours. This is the test we've been waiting for," Kevin said quietly. "Show them enough to earn respect, but not enough to reveal our full capabilities." Blackwood nodded. "Understood. We'll make it look good." The communication ended, and Kevin turned to Melissa. "Alert our people. The honeymoon period is about to end. It's time to show the galaxy that humans can defend themselves." In the cold vacuum of space near the Cerberus asteroid belt, the HSS Artemis dropped out of faster-than-light travel with precision that surprised even veteran Council military observers monitoring the situation. 2 Krell pirate ships circled the damaged human mining facility, their weapons still hot from the recent attack. On the bridge of the Artemis, Admiral Blackwood issued calm, measured commands. "Tactical display up. Lieutenant Hayes, prepare boarding teams. Engineering route auxiliary power to forward shields." Captain Winters managed communications. "Krell vessels. This is Captain Olivia Winters of the Earth diplomatic vessel Artemis. You have attacked a peaceful mining operation. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." The Krell captain responded with scorn. "Humans send a diplomatic vessel to fight pirates? We have scanned your ship, Earth creatures. You have minimal weapons. Surrender your mining facility, and we may let your crew live as slaves." Admiral Blackwood allowed himself a small smile. "Engage combat protocols." What happened next stunned the observing Council ships. The Artemis moved with unexpected speed, executing maneuvers that Council military strategists would later describe as highly irregular and tactically unpredictable. The human ship did not follow standard attack patterns known throughout the galaxy. The Krell, expecting the Artemis to keep its distance and exchange fire in the conventional way, found themselves outflanked. The human ship closed distance rapidly, negating the Krell's superior ranged weapons. "Their shields are concentrated forward," noted Tactical Officer Ben Murphy. "Their rear quadrant is vulnerable." "Exploit it," ordered Blackwood. 3 small craft launched from hidden bays on the Artemis, combat shuttles carrying Lieutenant Patricia Hayes and her boarding teams. While the Artemis engaged the larger pirate ship, these shuttles approached, the second vessel undetected. Inside her shuttle, Patricia checked her team's non-lethal weapons. "Remember, we want prisoners and intelligence, not a massacre. Show them efficiency, not brutality." Her team nodded. All were former special forces, soldiers now serving in the diplomatic fleet. Each wore light armor that appeared ceremonial to alien eyes but contained advanced protection systems. The shuttles attached to the Krell ship's hull. Patricia's team cut through the outer plating and entered the enemy vessel. What followed was a display of human combat prowess that would be discussed in Council military academies for years to come. The humans moved with predatory precision through the ship's corridors. They used stunning weapons when possible, but their most disturbing quality, according to captured Krell, was their movement, always advancing, never retreating, seeming to ignore injuries that would stop most species. Within 20 minutes, Patricia's team had secured the bridge. The Krell captain stared at the human female who had somehow disabled his entire security force with a small team. "What manner of diplomats are you?" he demanded. Patricia smiled slightly. "The kind that can defend themselves when needed." Meanwhile, the Artemis had disabled the larger pirate vessel without destroying it, something the observing Council ships noted was technically impressive. Admiral Blackwood ordered both pirate ships secured and the surviving Krell detained for Council authorities. Back on the Council homeworld, news of the incident spread quickly. Council Elder Zixtar, an ancient being who had seen many species come and go, watched the battle recordings with growing concern. "Notice how they move," he told his aide. "Humans do not fight defensively. Even when outnumbered, they attack. They pursue. This is not the behavior of herd species." "But their diplomatic corps has been nothing but helpful," his aide countered. "They've resolved more conflicts in 6 months than the Council managed in decades." "Yes," Zixtar said thoughtfully. "And does that not strike you as unusual?" A species so naturally skilled at ending conflicts must have extensive experience. With them, when questioned about the incident by council officials, Ambassador Kevin Porter expressed regret for the violence, but stood firm on humanity's right to defend its citizens. "We prefer peaceful solutions," he explained during an emergency session, "but we are capable of protecting ourselves when necessary." The council representatives nodded in understanding. Many privately noted the efficiency with which humans had neutralized the threat. Several military advisors requested permission to establish training exchanges with human forces. Others quietly increased their intelligence gathering on Earth. Her laboratory, Melissa Gray, analyzed the medical data from the boarding team. 2 humans had suffered injuries that would have incapacitated most council species, yet had continued fighting. Their recovery rates were already exceeding alien medical expectations. "We should limit access to our medical facilities," she told Kevin during their secure evening briefing. "Our healing capabilities will raise questions." Kevin agreed. "The council is starting to see glimpses of our true nature. We need to control the narrative. We're diplomats who can fight when needed, not warriors pretending to be diplomats." On Earth, Director Rodriguez received the full report of the Krell incident. She gathered her advisors to assess the galaxy's reaction. "They're impressed by our restraint," noted one political analyst. "We could have destroyed those ships but chose capture instead." "And concerned by our capabilities," added a military advisor. "The council races are starting to realize we're not like them. They evolved from prey animals. We evolved as predators." Director Mace Rodriguez considered this. "Maintain our diplomatic initiatives, accelerate cultural exchanges with friendly species, and prepare contingency plans for when the galaxy finally realizes what humans truly are." As humans continued their careful integration into galactic society, whispers spread among council species. Humans required less sleep than most. They recovered from injuries with unusual speed. They could endure environmental conditions that would kill other species. They digested foods that would poison others. And most disturbing of all, they smiled when threatened, showing too many teeth. Yet their diplomatic core remained invaluable, their soldiers disciplined, their leaders reasonable. For now, the galaxy accepted the human contradiction, creatures of peace who excelled at war. 2 years after Earth joined the Galactic Council, the emergency alarms sounded throughout the council chambers. Representatives rushed to their seats as screens displayed terrifying images: planets under attack, defense fleets scattered, civilian populations fleeing. The Calthi, a silicon-based species from the Outer Rim, had launched a massive surprise offensive against multiple council worlds. Ambassador Kevin Porter sat calmly while panic spread around him. The human delegation watched the council military advisors present their grim assessment. "The Calthi have breached our outer defense lines," reported the chief military advisor, a tall insectoid being. "Their ships use a crystal-based technology that makes them resistant to our standard weapons. 3 council fleets have already been destroyed." Whispers of surrender filled the chamber. The Calthi were known for their aggression but had remained isolated for centuries. Now they had returned with advanced technology and ruthless tactics. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, a Calthi ambassador. Its crystalline body glittered with internal lights, its voice a harsh grinding sound translated by council. "Technology. The weak will serve the strong," the Calthi announced. "This is the natural order. Your council has grown soft. We offer simple terms. Surrender your outer worlds and provide resources as tribute. Resist and we will take everything." The council erupted in fearful debate. Some argued for immediate surrender to save lives. Others insisted on trying to negotiate better terms. The Calthi ambassador watched with what passed for amusement among its kind. Kevin Porter stood and walked to the speaking platform. Unlike the frantic energy of other representatives, he moved with predatory calm. "The Calthi ambassador speaks of natural order," Kevin said, his voice cutting through the chaos. "On behalf of Earth, I would like to respond." The chamber quieted. The Calthi hologram turned toward the human. "We understand predators," Kevin continued. "Earth has many. We respect strength. But there is something you should know about humans." He paused, his diplomatic smile fading to reveal something older and more dangerous. We evolved as pursuit predators. When threatened, we do not surrender. We hunt. The Calthi ambassador made a sound that translated as laughter. Your species is new to the stars. You know nothing of real warfare. Misunderstanding humans would be a grave error, Kevin replied simply, then returned to his seat. 3 days later, Commander Ryan Edwards stood on the bridge of the Earth vessel, HSS Horizon. Behind him floated a small fleet of human ships, just 8 vessels against the massive Calthi armada of over 60 warships approaching the Council core worlds. All ships reporting ready, Commander, said his communications officer. Ryan nodded. Begin Operation Thunderbolt. On Earth, Admiral Blackwood and Director Rodriguez had worked with military strategists to develop a plan based on ancient human warfare tactics. The Council races fought using established patterns developed over millennia, predictable, honorable, and entirely ineffective against the Calthi. Humans would fight differently. Dr. Nicole Stewart had spent months studying Calthi biology after first contact. Working with a team of scientists, she had discovered a frequency that disrupted their crystalline neural pathways. It wouldn't kill them, but it would disorient them severely. Deploy the resonance buoys, Ryan ordered. Small, stealthy drones, launched from the human ships, moving into position around the Calthi fleet. The alien vessels ignored them, focusing their sensors on the human warships that appeared to be preparing for a conventional frontal assault. Resonance buoys in position, reported Tactical Officer Greg Martinez. Ready on your command. Ryan waited until the Calthi ships had formed their battle formation. Activate now. The buoys powered up, emitting waves of precisely calibrated energy. On the Calthi ships, crews suddenly found themselves unable to think clearly. Commands became confused. Navigation systems failed as their crystal-based computers malfunctioned. Launch boarding teams, Ryan ordered. Lieutenant Gregory Parker led. The Special Forces deployed from stealth shuttles. His teams had trained specifically for this mission, using tactics developed by studying Earth's most successful predators. They didn't move in large groups like Council military forces. Instead, they operated in small packs, striking from unexpected angles, retreating, then attacking again. Gregory's shuttle attached to the hull of the Calthi flagship. His team cut through the outer layer and entered the massive vessel. Remember, minimal lethal force, Gregory told his team. We want to capture their command structure intact. The human soldiers moved through the Calthi ship like shadows. They used the resonance technology on a smaller scale, disorienting Calthi defenders before subduing them. When cornered or confronted with superior numbers, the humans didn't retreat to safer positions as Council forces would. Instead, they became more aggressive, pushing forward with a determination that confused the Calthi. On other Calthi vessels, similar scenes played out. Small human teams infiltrated key systems, disabled weapons, and captured command centers. The human warships, meanwhile, executed maneuvers that made no sense to conventional military doctrine. They split up, made themselves vulnerable, then struck from unexpected vectors. They do not fight like the others, a captured Calthi commander later reported. They fight like they enjoy it. Within 6 hours, the human fleet had disabled or captured 34 Calthi warships without destroying a single one. The remaining Calthi vessels retreated in disarray, their carefully planned invasion thrown into chaos by an enemy they had severely underestimated. In the council chambers, representatives watched the battle reports with shock and awe. Humans, the newest and supposedly least advanced species in the council, had succeeded where ancient civilizations had failed. How did they do this? Asked one reptilian counselor. Their fleet was tiny compared to the Calthi armada. Council Elder Zixtar studied the reports carefully. They did not fight according to any recognized doctrine. They used methods no honorable warrior would consider. They won, observed another counselor, without losing a single ship. When the Calthi flagship was secured, Commander Ryan Edwards personally accepted the surrender of the Calthi war leader. The crystalline being towered over the human, its internal lights dimmed in defeat. "What manner of species fights this way?" the Kalthi demanded. "You do not follow the proper forms of warfare. You do not engage as honor demands." Ryan smiled, the expression not reaching his eyes. "We're diplomats," he replied. "We simply speak multiple languages, including war." News of the human victory spread rapidly throughout Council space. Species that had feared imminent conquest now found themselves safe again. Gratitude mixed with uncertainty, as Council members began to ask more pointed questions about humanity's military background. Ambassador Kevin Porter addressed the Council the day after the battle. "Earth came to this Council seeking peaceful cooperation, and that remains our goal. But make no mistake, we will defend our allies with everything we have." After the session, Melissa Gray met with Kevin in their secure room. "Our popularity has never been higher," she noted, "and our reputation has never been more concerning to certain Council members." Kevin nodded. "They're beginning to see beyond the diplomatic facade. The Council military advisors have requested complete information on human tactics and training." "Which we won't provide," Melissa said. "Not all of it," Kevin agreed. "We'll share enough to establish trust, but keep our edges hidden." He looked at the galactic map on the wall, human diplomatic missions highlighted across Council space. The Kalthi made a critical mistake. They assumed all Council species were the same. "And now?" Melissa asked. "Now the galaxy begins to understand what we are," Kevin said quietly. "The question is whether they'll see us as protectors or as the next threat." In the months following the Kalthi conflict, humanity's status in the Galactic Council changed dramatically. Once viewed as newcomers to be guided, humans now found themselves the subject of intense study. Council species who had previously dismissed Earth as a primitive world began reviewing human history, discovering millennia of warfare, adaptation, and expansion. Ambassador Susan Miller, who had replaced Kevin Porter as Earth's chief representative, noticed the shift immediately. Where alien diplomats had once been condescending, they were now cautious. Where they had once offered advice, they now asked questions. "They're beginning to see us clearly," Susan reported during a secure call with Earth Command. "The diplomatic camouflage is wearing thin." On the screen, Director Rodriguez nodded. "Expected after the Kalthi incident. Have you observed any hostile reactions?" "Not hostile, exactly. Wary. Some species have increased security when meeting with us. Others have formed closer ties. The predator species in particular seem to understand us better." In the background, Vice Admiral Christopher Allen joined the conversation. "We need to accelerate our integration before they decide we're too dangerous. The fear needs to be balanced with dependence." "Agreed," said Susan. "I suggest we expand our military alliance programs. Let them see us as protectors rather than potential threats." After the call ended, Susan prepared for a diplomatic reception hosted by the Klaxi, an insectoid species known for their elaborate social rituals. Such events had become critical intelligence gathering opportunities, as aliens often revealed, more when they believed they were in a social rather than political setting. The reception took place in a massive garden dome filled with plants from hundreds of worlds. Susan moved through the crowd with practiced ease, noting which species clustered together and which remained apart. Her diplomatic aide, Officer Daniel White, followed slightly behind, sampling various alien foods and drinks offered by Klaxi servers. A group of council biologists approached Susan, their interest poorly disguised as casual conversation. "Ambassador Miller," greeted the lead biologist, a amphibious being named Dr. Morrow. "We were just discussing your species' remarkable performance against the Kalthi. Most impressive, especially considering human physiological parameters," Susan smiled politely. "Humans believe strategy often counts more than physical advantages." "Indeed," said Dr. Morrow. "Though we notice humans possess certain unique traits. Your endurance exceeds most council species. Your reaction to injury is unusual. You continue functioning despite damage that would incapacitate others." Before Susan could deflect the observation, Daniel joined the conversation. A Klaxi server had just offered him a plate of food items toxic to most council species. No thank you, Daniel said to the server. Though I probably could eat it. Humans are opportunistic omnivores. We can digest almost anything. He smiled, not realizing the impact of his casual comment. The biologists exchanged glances. One of them activated a small recording device. Fascinating. You can consume foods poisonous to other species. Daniel shrugged. Our homeworld has thousands of potentially toxic plants and animals. Humans adapted to process a wide range of organic compounds. It's not that unusual. But it was unusual in a galaxy where most intelligent species had evolved as specialized herbivores with limited diets. The ability to consume almost any organic matter was a trait of predators. Adaptable, opportunistic hunters. The biologists excused themselves quickly. Within an hour, word had spread through the reception. The human representatives noticed increased distance from many attendees. Susan pulled Daniel aside. That comment about our diet was unwise. It confirmed what they suspect we're not like them. Daniel looked confused. But it's just biology. Why would it matter? Because most council species evolved from herd prey, Susan explained quietly. Their evolutionary response to danger is to flee or freeze. The predator species are the minority in the council, and even they have specialized diets. An omnivorous apex predator that can eat anything, endure almost any environment, and keeps fighting when injured? We're their nightmare. Later that evening, Susan received an urgent message. A Claxi scientist had released a preliminary report about human biology to several council members. The report described humans as potentially the most adaptable and dangerous species yet encountered. Professor Linda Morris, Earth's cultural attaché, immediately launched a damage control operation. She organized educational seminars about Earth cultures, art, and philosophy, trying to emphasize humanity's creative and peaceful aspects. During one such seminar, Linda explained human leisure activities to a group of council representatives. Many humans engage in recreational sports and physical activities purely for enjoyment. A council member asked for examples. Linda described swimming, team sports, and hiking. Then she mentioned running. You mean pursuit of prey? Asked a confused reptilian delegate. No, Linda explained. Just running. Moving quickly on foot for exercise. Humans often run many miles simply for pleasure or to challenge themselves. The silence that followed was profound. Council records would later note, this is a pivotal moment in interspecies understanding. A species that engaged in pursuit predator behavior for enjoyment was something entirely new to the council. The reptilian delegate asked the question that many thought but few had voiced. Ambassador Porter once said humans evolved as pursuit predators. What exactly does that mean? Professor Morris hesitated, then decided honesty was the best approach. Early humans hunted by chasing prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We can't run as fast as many animals, but we can run longer. We regulate heat better, we breathe more efficiently, and our bodies are built for endurance. Our ancestors would track animals for days if necessary. After the seminar, council security forces quietly doubled at all events involving humans. Back on Earth, Director Rodriguez convened an emergency strategy session with military and diplomatic leaders. The screen showed statistical models of council, species reactions to humanity. The camouflage has failed, said Admiral Blackwood bluntly. They know what we are now. Not failed, corrected Director Rodriguez. Evolved. We never expected to hide our nature forever. Now we move to Phase 2. Controlled revelation. Vice Admiral Allen nodded. The Calthi attack actually provided the perfect opportunity. We showed our predatory nature in defense of the Council. We're dangerous, yes, but we're their dangerous allies. Still, warned a political advisor, some Council factions are pushing for restrictions on human expansion. They fear our military potential. Director Rodriguez studied the galaxy map showing human diplomatic and military positions. Fear can be managed. Initiate the Predator Protocol. It's time we acknowledge our nature openly while demonstrating that predators can also be protectors. Across Council space, human representatives received new instructions. No more deflection or minimization of human capabilities. Instead, they would gradually reveal more about Earth's history and biology, while emphasizing humanity's commitment to peaceful cooperation. "We don't need to hide what we are," Rodriguez told her advisors. "We just need to show them that what we are isn't what they fear." In her private quarters on the Council homeworld, Professor Linda Morris reviewed the latest reports from Earth. Security monitors showed increased surveillance of human activities. Intelligence suggested several Council species were quietly preparing defense plans specifically designed to counter human tactics. Linda wasn't worried. The galaxy was finally seeing humans clearly, not as simple diplomats, but as complex predators who had chosen to use their hunting instincts for protection rather than conquest. The transition would be delicate, but humanity had faced greater challenges. "They see the teeth now," she murmured to herself. "Soon they'll understand that not all predators are enemies." 10 years after first contact, the galaxy had reached a new balance with humanity. Earthships patrolled trade routes once plagued by pirates. Human diplomats resolved conflicts between species with centuries of hatred. Human scientists shared medical breakthroughs that saved countless alien lives. Yet beneath the cooperation ran a current of caution. Kevin Porter, now in his final year as a diplomatic advisor before retirement, stood at the speaking platform in the Grand Council chamber. Much had changed since he first addressed this body. As Earth's ambassador, now the chamber included holographic representatives from worlds too distant for physical travel, and the security protocols had been upgraded multiple times, often in response to human suggestions. "Looking back on our first decade among the stars," Kevin said to the assembled representatives, "Earth is proud of what we have accomplished together. When the ancient Morgoth Empire threatened Council space last year, humans fought alongside many of your species to protect our shared interests." He didn't mention that Admiral Blackwood's fleet had been the decisive factor in that conflict, using tactics that still disturbed some Council military leaders. "We come from a world where cooperation and competition evolved side by side," Kevin continued. "Our history contains great violence but also great compassion. We can be your most dedicated allies or your most determined opponents. The choice has always been yours." The Council response was mixed. Some representatives applauded. Others remained still, their species' body language showing lingering concern. After a decade of close observation, the galaxy had developed a complex understanding of humans. Council records now officially classified Earth as a death world, acknowledging its high gravity, extreme weather patterns, and diverse predators. Humans were listed as pursuit predators with omnivorous tendencies, high endurance, and unusual pack-bonding behaviors that extended to non-human species. As Kevin left the platform, Elder Zixtar approached him. The ancient being had become one of humanity's strongest advocates in the Council. "A fitting final address," Zixtar said, his 4 arms performing a gesture of respect. "You have guided your species well through difficult waters." Kevin smiled. "The journey isn't over. We're still learning to balance our nature with our aspirations." "As are we all," the elder replied. "When you first arrived, many feared you would be conquerors disguised as friends. Few understood that predators could choose to be protectors." In her office at Earth's expanded embassy, Director Samantha Rodriguez reviewed the latest reports. From human worlds now established throughout Council space, humanity had spread faster than any species in Council history, adapting to environments that challenged even the most advanced alien technologies. Her assistant entered with news from the newest human outpost on the galaxy's edge. "The terraforming project is ahead of schedule. Local species have requested human security forces to help with pirate incursions in their sector." Rodriguez nodded. "Approve the security request. Make sure the teams understand this is protection duty, not an offensive operation." The implementation of what became known as the Predator Protocol had transformed humanity's approach to galactics politics. Instead of hiding their predatory nature, humans now acknowledged it openly, while demonstrating how such instincts could serve peaceful ends. Dr. Benjamin Clark's research into interspecies psychology had been crucial to this transition. His work helped aliens understand humans better, while humans learned to recognize behaviors that triggered fear responses in prey-evolved species. The key insight, Benjamin had explained to the Council Scientific Committee, is that humans don't see predator and prey as fixed categories. We form deep bonds with species that would naturally be our prey. On Earth, we keep animals as beloved companions, not food sources. We can extend this same protective instinct to any species. In the decade since first contact, humans had proven this repeatedly. When natural disasters struck Council worlds, human ships were often first to respond. When medical emergencies arose, human doctors worked tirelessly alongside alien healers. The same endurance that made humans terrifying in combat made them invaluable in crises. On the training grounds of the newly established Joint Defense Academy, Captain Lauren Hill watched human and alien military units practice together. The first integrated combat teams had faced significant challenges. Species that evolved from herd animals instinctively fled when humans entered hunting mode during combat exercises. Predator species often competed with humans for leadership roles. "They're improving," noted her alien colleague, Commander Vex of the reptilian Saurid. His species was one of the few predator-evolved members of the Council, making them natural allies with humans. Lauren nodded. "The Tellarites still retreat when cornered, but they're holding position longer, and your people have stopped challenging our squad leaders at every decision." Vex made a sound that translated as laughter. "We recognize fellow hunters. The difference is that Saurids hunt alone. Humans hunt in packs. Your coordination is impressive." The joint military units became the most visible symbol of humanity's new role in the galaxy. When pirates attacked a Council transport ship carrying refugees, they expected an easy target. Instead, they faced a response team of humans and Saurids who moved with the coordination of predators who had hunted together for generations. Back on Earth, the United Nations Space Command headquarters had expanded into a complex that coordinated human activities across hundreds of worlds. Admiral Blackwood, now approaching retirement himself, met with the next generation of human leaders. "The galaxy has accepted our dual nature," he told them. "The challenge now is to remember both sides of ourselves. We are predators, yes, but we're also builders, explorers, and caretakers." In Council Scientific Archives, a classified study of human psychology noted a trait unique among known species. Humans could switch between predator and protector modes almost instantly, extending their pack protection instincts to any being they considered under their care. "The most dangerous thing in the known galaxy," one alien psychologist wrote, "is not a human who sees you as prey. It is a human who sees something under their protection being threatened." As Kevin Porter's shuttle departed the Council world, for the last time he looked out at the stars. Humanity had found its place among them, not by hiding their nature but by channeling it. The diplomatic corps still led human expansion, but now they did so honestly, as representatives of a predator species that had chosen to use their hunting instincts for defense rather than conquest. In the Council chambers, Elder Zixtar added the final entry to his official memoirs before submitting them to the archives. "We were afraid when we realized what humans truly were," he wrote. "We failed to understand that predators who choose to be diplomats are not hiding their nature. They are channeling it. Humans did not deceive us. We simply lacked the context to see them clearly." The galaxy realized too late that humans were apex predators, but perhaps we realized just in time that this made them the perfect defenders of peace. The diplomatic vessels continued their journeys between stars, their human crews smiling pleasantly at new species they encountered. The bee. Smiles still showed too many teeth by most galactic standards, but now everyone understood why. Humans were predators who had chosen to protect rather than hunt, and the galaxy was safer because of it. The Human Diplomatic Corps expanded its training program, teaching new representatives how to balance honesty about human nature with reassurance about human intentions. As one instructor told his students, "We don't need to hide our teeth anymore. We just need to show that we bite only what threatens our pack, and our pack now includes the entire Council." In the vastness of space, word spread to species not yet part of the Council. Beware the humans, for they hunt like no others. But also, befriend the humans, for they protect what they claim as their own. The galaxy had learned eventually to see humans clearly, not as diplomats disguising predators but as predators who had found a better use for their hunting skills.